we like to imagine the greatest rock hits of the 1970s were born from late-night jam sessions and pure creative magic. Friends in a dimly lit studio, catching lightning in a bottle. But that image is only part of the story. Some of the decade's most enduring anthems were actually fueled by anger, betrayal, and broken relationships. Behind closed studio doors, legendary guitarists plotted against each other, lead singers traded punches, and lifelong friendships collapsed under the weight of fame, ego, and money. The reality rarely makes it into the liner notes. Many of the biggest bands of the 70s suffered devastating lineup changes or completely fell apart soon after releasing their most successful albums. The pressure that created these classic records often destroyed the people behind them. Today, we're counting down 10 massive hits that permanently changed the artists who made them. These songs prove that some of rock's greatest masterpieces came at the highest personal cost. Number 10, Barracuda by Heart.
Barracuda.
Many people assume an angry rock song is aimed at a former lover. But when Ann Wilson recorded Barracuda in 1977, her fury was directed at her own record label. Hart was climbing the charts when Mushroom Records published a full-page magazine advertisement implying that sisters Ann and Nancy Wilson were involved in an incestuous relationship. It was a cheap publicity stunt created to sell more records with no regard for the band's reputation. Furious over the betrayal, Ann retreated to her hotel room and wrote the lyrics to Barracuda. The song became a direct attack on corporate exploitation and the people who tried to profit from humiliating the band.
Smile like the sun, kisses for rain.
Hart soon walked away from Mushroom Records, triggering a lengthy legal battle. Musically, the track matched its message perfectly. Built around a relentless E minor guitar riff inspired by Nazareth's version of This Flight Tonight, it charged forward with unstoppable intensity. More than a hit single, Barracuda became Hart's declaration of independence. The song proved they would rather fight the music industry than allow it to define who they were. Number 9. Have you ever seen The Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival? For years, many listeners believed this classic was a political statement. In reality, John Fogerty wrote it while watching his own band fall apart.
Someone told me long ago.
By 1970, tensions inside Creedence Clearwater Revival had reached a breaking point. John controlled the songwriting, production, and creative direction, leaving his brother Tom Fogerty increasingly frustrated and isolated. Shortly after the album's release, Tom would leave the band for good. The song's famous image of rain falling on a sunny day had nothing to do with politics. It reflected the painful reality that, even at the height of their success, the band was quietly collapsing from within.
Have you ever seen rain?
They had achieved everything they had worked for, yet could no longer enjoy it together. The recording itself reflects Fogerty's disciplined songwriting. Running only 2 minutes and 39 seconds, every verse, chorus, and guitar phrase serves a purpose without wasting a moment.
It can't stop, I wonder.
More than a timeless hit, Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Became John Fogerty's farewell to one of America's greatest rock bands. A beautiful song about success arriving just as everything else was falling apart.
Down the sunny day.
Number 8. Draw the Line by Aerosmith. Some rock songs sound chaotic. Draw the Line actually documented a band falling apart. By 1977, Aerosmith had been consumed by drug abuse, exhaustion, and growing resentment. Steven Tyler and Joe Perry, the infamous Toxic Twins, had become so hostile toward each other that they often recorded in separate studios, simply to avoid another fight. The band was living in an old convent outside Boston, burning through an enormous recording budget, while sinking deeper into isolation. The sessions pushed everyone closer to the breaking point and set the stage for Perry's eventual departure. The music captured that turmoil perfectly. Perry recorded much of the track using a Dan Armstrong clear plexiglass guitar, tuned to open A and played with a slide. The raw, unstable tone reflected the emotional state of a band losing control of its own success. Rather than hiding the chaos, Draw the Line preserved it. The song stands as a snapshot of Aerosmith at the moment when fame, addiction, and internal conflict nearly destroyed one of America's biggest rock bands. Number 7, Woman from Tokyo by Deep Purple. Woman from Tokyo sounds like a celebration of Deep Purple's growing international success. Behind the scenes, it was anything but. When the band entered the studio in 1973, the relationship between singer Ian Gillan and guitarist Ritchie Blackmore had completely collapsed. During sessions in Rome and Germany, they avoided speaking to each other, communicating only through bandmates or management. Even more remarkable, Gillan had already decided to leave the band months before the album was released. Despite the hostility, the group still had to deliver a hit. Much of the recording was assembled using the Rolling Stones mobile studio, allowing individual performances to be billed separately before being combined into a seamless final track. The technology helped hide the fact that the band's chemistry had all but disappeared. Ironically, one of Deep Purple's most energetic songs was created by musicians who could barely stand to be in the same room. Woman from Tokyo remains proof that professionalism can sometimes overcome even the deepest personal divisions, at least long enough to make a classic record. Number 6, American Woman by the Guess Who. Hit record doesn't always save a band. Sometimes it exposes the divisions already tearing it apart. By the late 1960s, guitarist Randy Bachman and singer Burton Cummings were moving in completely different directions. After converting to Mormonism, Bachman embraced a sober lifestyle that sharply conflicted with the band's hard partying culture. The growing tension made collaboration increasingly difficult. The song itself was born by accident. During a concert, Bachman was tuning a broken string when he stumbled onto the now famous guitar riff. As the audience responded, Cummings improvised the lyrics on the spot. What began as an unplanned jam quickly became the band's biggest hit. Ironically, the song's worldwide success only widened the divide between the two leaders. Bachman soon left the Guess Who at the height of their popularity, ending one of Canada's most successful rock lineups. The signature guitar tone came from a 1959 Les Paul running through a faulty preamp that Bachman deliberately refused to repair because he preferred its rough, distorted sound. That imperfect tone became the defining voice of American Woman, a classic born from chance, creative chemistry, and a partnership that was already beginning to unravel. Number 5, Message in a Bottle by The Police. The nervous energy driving Time's message in a bottle was more than a musical choice. It reflected the constant conflict between Sting and drummer Stuart Copeland, as Sting took greater control over the band's songwriting. resentment inside the police continued to grow. Copeland often responded by deliberately pushing the tempo or playing slightly ahead of the beat during recording sessions, knowing it would frustrate Sting. Their arguments became so intense that guitarist Andy Summers occasionally had to step in and separate them. Instead of weakening the song, that tension became part of its identity. During production, Copeland's snare drum was heavily overdubbed, giving it a sharp, cutting sound that perfectly matched the pressure inside the studio. Every rhythmic accent carried the same aggression the band members were directing at one another. The irony is that one of the Police's greatest hits was built on constant confrontation. Message in a Bottle proves that creative rivalry can sometimes produce extraordinary music, even when the people making it can barely stand each other. Number 4, Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. One of the greatest guitar solos in rock history emerged from a bitter power struggle inside Pink Floyd.
Can you show me where it hurts?
During the recording of The Wall in 1979, Roger Waters and David Gilmour clashed constantly over the song's production. Gilmour wanted powerful, driving drums for the chorus, while Waters pushed for a more restrained, orchestral sound.
I caught a fleeting glimpse.
Their arguments became so heated that producer Bob Ezrin was forced to mediate before the sessions completely fell apart. When it came time to record the iconic closing solo, Gilmour took a meticulous approach. He recorded several complete takes, then carefully assembled the strongest sections of each onto a master tape, creating the soaring performance heard on the final record. The result became one of rock's defining moments. Yet behind its emotional beauty was a partnership rapidly collapsing under the weight of ego and creative control. Comfortably Numb stands as both the peak of Waters and Gilmour's collaboration, and a reminder that Pink Floyd's greatest music was created just as the band itself was beginning to fracture. Number 3, Take It to the Limit by Eagles. The Eagles' highest charting song featuring Randy Meisner also became the reason he left the band.
All alone at the end.
By 1975, constant touring had left Meisner physically exhausted and struggling with severe stage fright. Every night, he dreaded singing the song's soaring final notes. Hearing his voice would fail in front of thousands of fans.
Take it to the limit.
The breaking point came before a concert in Knoxville. Sick and worn out, Meisner refused to perform Take It to the Limit as the encore. Glenn Frey confronted him backstage, and the argument quickly escalated into a physical fight. Soon afterward, Meisner's time with the Eagles came to an end. Musically, the song remains unique within the band's catalog. It is the Eagles' only major A-side single, written in a 3/4 waltz time signature, giving it a sweeping, emotional feel unlike their other hits. Behind its graceful melody lies a harsher story. Take It to the Limit became a symbol of the relentless pressure inside one of America's biggest bands, where perfection on stage ultimately mattered more than the well-being of one of its own members. Number 2, If You Leave Me Now by Chicago. Most bands spend their careers chasing a #1 hit. For Chicago, achieving that dream nearly changed the band forever. When bassist Peter Cetera introduced Sump 7, If You Leave Me Now, for the 1976 album, it immediately divided the group. Chicago had built its reputation on powerful horn-driven rock, But this gentle ballad placed strings and soft vocals at the center,
Could we end it all this way?
leaving the horn section with only a minor role. Several members believed it strayed too far from the band's identity. Ironically, the musicians who disliked the song the most helped shape its signature sound. Trombonist James Pankow wrote the lush French horn arrangement, even though he reportedly opposed the band's increasingly commercial direction. Their concerns proved justified. If You Leave Me Now became Chicago's first number one hit and transformed the band's public image almost overnight. From that point forward, audiences expected polished soft rock ballads instead of the adventurous jazz rock style that had made them famous. The song brought worldwide success, but it also marked a turning point that permanently changed Chicago's musical identity. Sometimes the biggest hit a band ever records is the one that takes them furthest from where they began. Number 1, Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. For our final entry, we come to a story that blurred the line between songwriting and psychological warfare.
Is it the right thing to do?
After the collapse of their relationship, Lindsey Buckingham wrote Go Your Own Way as a direct response to Stevie Nicks. One lyric accused her of moving on with other men, an allegation Nicks has repeatedly denied. She begged Buckingham to remove the line before the album was finished, believing it was both unfair and deeply personal. He refused. That decision forced Nicks into an impossible situation. Night after night, she had to stand beside Buckingham and sing harmony on a song built around accusations aimed directly at her. Every live performance became a public reminder of a private heartbreak, turning one of Fleetwood Mac's biggest hits into an emotional battle played out in front of millions. The tension is reflected throughout the recording. Mick Fleetwood's relentless drum performance, inspired by the driving rhythm of the Rolling Stones' Street Fighting Man, gives the song an unstoppable momentum that never lets the emotion settle. Go Your Own Way became far more than a breakup song. It transformed heartbreak, resentment, and unresolved conflict into one of rock's defining anthems. In doing so, Fleetwood Mac proved that sometimes the greatest music is created not when relationships are thriving, but when they are falling apart. These 10 songs prove that musical greatness does not always come from harmony. More often, it emerges from conflict. Behind many of rock's most celebrated recordings were broken friendships, creative rivalries, legal battles, and personal betrayals. The pressure that produced these timeless classics often pushed the people who created them to their limits, leaving scars that lasted long after the music topped the charts. That is why these records still resonate decades later. Their power comes from emotions that could never be manufactured: anger, heartbreak, frustration, and determination, all captured on tape in the moment they were lived. Some songs become unforgettable because of their melodies. Others endure because they preserve the exact moment a legendary band began to fall apart. And sometimes, that painful truth is what makes the music immortal.